this is Josh, Stoney Farmer. Today we're going to work on the chipper, get things back in place like they should be, change the oil in it a little later on, either today or tomorrow, and get back to chipping. Last video we had was part 1, and there was a nice fire. Burnt my chipper up. I put a new tire on it, fixed the wheel, checked the grease in the wheel bearings, put a new gas tank on, new battery, rewired it, and now we're ready to start chipping again here as soon as I do a few little maintenance things that need to be done. So you might think, what in the world is going on here? A little project we got going on here. This is our wood chipper, the hopper part of it. Some of these welds have come loose, and I've got some holes here that I want to repair. I also have a bent out piece of metal here, and this piece isn't straight either. So we're going to work those pieces of metal back together and make some necessary repairs to get this chipper up and running right. So the last video we had on this chipper was when it caught on fire. The gas tank was black. It was right here. I ordered a new gas tank off Amazon and fabricated these mounts to get it going. Ran some new gas line here all the way to the engine, new battery cables which we need to secure, and a new battery. So she fires up, she runs good now, no problems. I've got to do an exhaust repair. This is my exhaust issue that caused the fire. Pipe is just hanging in there loose, and that's what caused my spark, which caused my fire. I'm going to replace this cap, and also going to change the oil. Got a new fuel filter on there. Put a new tire on here. Also went ahead and did a new tire on the other side. I have to replace this fender, as you can tell it's been damaged by the fire. We'll take this to a tractor guy or just do it ourselves and repaint all these areas that were burnt. Everything got crispified the other day, so we got it up and running again though. The first thing we're going to do is beat this dent out and beat this dent out. So we're going to do a little beating and banging right now. So what we're doing is beating and banging here to straighten this piece out. I've got to weld a piece of metal in right here to keep branches from going in and catching right here, and that's what bent this out in the first place. So I'm going to weld a little extra piece of metal in there and weld up some other spots here. So we're going to take this piece of angle iron right here, and we're going to weld right here. We're going to cut a little piece out, like right there. We're going to weld it there, okay? First thing I got to do is grind all this paint off right here, and grind a little paint off of here, and then cut it to size. Safety glasses. So now we've got our piece cut. This is it. I'm going to grind the paint off of this, and we're going to weld it in place. Also, I'm going to go ahead and grind off all the other little spots I'm going to do. We'll fire up the welder, weld up those little spots, and call it a done deal. So what I'm doing here, there's some self-tapping screws in here that somebody's put in, and I'm just grinding the ends off of those because it catches the wood as I slide it in the chipper. Gonna give you a good close-up shot of me grinding the paint off of one of these bad edges. You'll really see where these two pieces of metal meet. You'll really be able to see how bad they are, and then once we get our repair done, you'll be able to see how decent they are. I'm no pro welder, but I can weld. So this is Josh, male nurse, showing you how to weld. Let's take a minute and talk about the welder I have. I have an Eastwood 135. It's been used a few times, has the gas with it. Very good little welder. We're going to open our hatch up right here, and this tells me my suggested settings for welding. So we're going to take our metal and we're going to match it up to this chart, and that way we get our heat right. So here's my metal. I'm going to match it up, and it looks like it's a 14 gauge. So we've got the 0.6 millimeter wire, We're going to go over here to our 14 gauge, and we're using argon gas, so we're going to go H7. Take our dial, turn it to H7, wire speed, and the volts. So something I've yet to experience with this welder is firing it up in cold weather. It fires up really, really slow. It was very surprising to me. I also have these Stoney welding gloves, which I've used twice. They already have a hole in them. So Stoney 02209 are really great gloves. Just want to let you know, okay? When you're buying gloves, think about that. I'm going to firmly clamp in place my replacement piece. Not that firm though. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and tack it the lower part first. Then I'm going to go to welding. So there you have it, all welded in place, nice and firm. I'm going to grind this corner off right here, and we'll be done with that section. Got a few more spots I want to weld. So some thoughts on this Eastwood 135 welder. This is heavy material that I'm welding right here, and this welder is doing a great job. So thanks, Eastwood. I want to tell you that this little 135 welder is probably all you'd need on your farm, so good product. We've got everything welded and good to go on the receiving side of the chipper. We're going to flip up the lid and we're going to weld a little bit on that, make sure everything's nice and secure. So you can see here, this piece of angle iron is loose. So I'm going to take my clamps, clamp it down, grind the edge, and re-hit these welds to fix it up, okay? So let's weld her up, get her done. That is the sound of awesomeness when you're welding. That bzzz, beautiful. So I've got a little bit of a problem here, and I'll show it to you. The large flap that goes down that I've been welding on, if I go down the road about 55 miles an hour, it'll fall down and go boom and scare the crap out of you. So when I bought this chipper from the guy, he told me about that, so I've got to figure out a solution to latch it in place so when I pull it down the road, in case I need to take it to my parents or another farm that we might buy in the future, I don't have a problem with it slamming down. So here's my idea, and I'm going to have to do a little fabrication. So I found this old hasp, and here's where the old bracket used to be. I want to weld this hasp down right here, but as you can see, it's hitting right there. And in order for me to latch it in place right here, it's got to go in this spot, and it's got to lay down flat. Now I can't find the other half of this hasp, so I decided I'm going to use a nail. So we're going to take this nail and I'm going to bend it over to fit in the slot in the hasp, and then I'm going to weld it right here. So we're in here, this is the chainsaw sharpening area. I put a mark right here. I'm going to put this guy in my vise straight and even as I possibly can, and I'm going to just give it a few taps. Now I'm going to run outside, and I know it's got to go a little further. I can just look at it and tell. So I'm going to give it another tap or two. There we go. Alright, I've got to think about this. So we've got her in there. We're going to snip that end off and that end off, and we're going to weld this both up there and make what we need. So it only needs to stick up about that far, okay? So I've got her all set up here ready to go, but I can't get my grinder down in there to grind out this rust. So I happen to be out at my local Lowe's, and I found this attachment that goes in your Sawzall. It is a wire brush that fits in your Sawzall, and you can use that to scrub out rust. Works pretty awesome. Woo. So we've got our piece tacked in place. We're going to finish welding it and then see how she works. Would have been a lot easier to just go buy a hasp with all the right stuff. It's kind of a pain in the butt doing this, but it's all good. You work with what you have. So it's about being a prepper, I guess. I'm not really a prepper, but I am prepared. So I guess, does that make me a prepper? I don't know. Alright, from concept to fruition, we'll show you what we've got here. I've got a little pin that I want to set in this spot, and we've made our latch, and that means we're done. I'll show you how it works. So, got our little latch here in place. Here's the pin we're going to use. There we go. Give it a little jiggle. Drop our pin in. Simple solution to the problem. Now I don't have to put an ugly ratchet strap on the outside. Well, we've got our chipper all repaired. It's ready to go. I put the new gas tank on, new gas lines, new wiring where it caught on fire, and new tires. We'll do a new fender at some point. Gonna change the oil, get the vehicle serviced, make sure that, or the machine serviced, make sure that the air filter's good, everything's right. We'll fire it back up, and we'll get back to chipping, and we'll keep a fire extinguisher on it this next time so it doesn't burn up. This is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day. Don't forget to subscribe to us. All right. Woo!